In my last video, I was soaking up a nice warm sunset in Uwharrie State Park, North Carolina. But by morning, the clouds appeared and burst upon the scene. It was a soaking, all right. Well, I guess it is a good thing I put the awning down. Keeps me dry, I get to enjoy the rain, and I get water for a shower. Without water hookups, rainwater is the next best thing. A stream that was only yesterday choking in oak leaves now flowed free again. And those that depend on moisture glowed in its presence. Those little stars on the grasses returned back to the sky by nightfall. And as the universe glided across the forest canopy, it led the way to another transformation. But it wasn't the kind of transformation I was looking for. It's friggin' cold in here. It's below freezing. Furnace time. Ugh. That silver twinkle on the ground was truly magical, but it was also a motivator. Is it too much to ask when you go to the southeast United States that at least be above freezing? Apparently so. There's got to be somewhere warmer, and I'm going to find it. Lots of shade, but a little bit of sunlight. Although that seemed like a smooth transition, there was, however, a hiccup, and it happened midway between campsites. Bit of a casualty on the highway. The front cover jiggled loose, ripped off the solar panel. It's broken. One of the supports is broken. I've got some rope holding it up. I don't know if I can fix this solar panel or not, but I'm gonna try to salvage it anyway. Really sucks. I have to do some repairs so early into the trip, but it happens. Just got to deal with it. To just prop up the window cover, I needed a quick means of support. A fallen branch gave me the answer. Sometimes you just have to improvise. Well, isn't this nice? Great little campground. You know, despite my technical difficulties on the highway today, I'm pretty happy because I've got a nice spot. It wasn't free, but I think it was a good deal. I'm at Carolina Beach State Park, near Carolina Beach, of course, North Carolina. And I think the campsites are fantastic here. No plug-ins right here on this spot, but look at the fire pit. Look how clean it is. It's like they vacuumed it. I've never seen a fire pit that clean. Picnic tables, pad for the car, and trees, and lots of space. Not everybody's cramped out in like so many places. You know, there's everybody's on top of everybody else, but here there's lots of space, and it's reasonably quiet. I think there's a little private airplane in the background. I paid $20 for this, and I think it's worth it. That's what I expect to get for $20. Now, the actual price was $26 a night, but the white hair sort of kicked in and I got a discount. It's nice when it pays off occasionally for being old, you know. Sun's just going down, and no winter coat. Look at that. Yeah, I got a shirt on, but it's about just under 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 10 Celsius for you Canadians. And it is not going to be below freezing tonight, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. I think that's enough of the Mick Happy moment. Now it's back to reality and try to figure out what happened to this front cover on my trailer, why it lifted up, and how I can prevent it in the future, and if I can actually fix the damage I have right now. Because the damage is kind of extensive. There's a tear in the fiberglass right here, right on this corner by the hinge. It's still on the hinge, which is good, but there is damage up there. One side of the support ripped off. I did manage to salvage it, found it on the side of the highway. And the worst damage was the solar panel, which was stored inside. When this flipped up, it flew out, and it doesn't look very good right now. The junction box has been ripped off, the wiring is off here, the diodes are missing, and the cables have been run over. So I don't know if this is salvageable. I'll put it on a meter to see if it still generates power. If not, then it's probably trash. But there was good news. As the meter test showed it still produced current, I just need to find a new junction box. Now, before this happened, I did figure out there was some kind of an issue. The way this is typically locked in place, and this is an older model Outback, they don't use this way anymore. They use, I think, gas struts to bring it up and down. But this was a little clip thing like that, a bracket that held it in place, both sides, on a spring. And it was actually getting a little loose. There's a little bit of play there, so the reason there's duct tape on both sides is I duct taped some spacers just to make up so that it wasn't flopping about. But what happened when I was going east towards the coast is I was right into a headwind, and what my theory is the air got caught up in here and just bent it over, and it just flew like that. I have to make sure that never happens again. But I also got to try to repair it. I think I can. At least I think I can make it a temporary measure until I get something better later on.
Reattaching the window bracket was easy. It just needed new rivets and washers. And yes, I always bring a rivet gun, as I probably use it more than a hammer. The tear on the lid was a little ugly. There were also some rivets that had popped out. Another handy thing to bring is a fiberglass repair kit. This is especially true if you own a fiberglass trailer. After removing the bad rivets, I did my best to patch up the tear both inside and outside the lid. After it hardened and had been sanded, a little touch-up paint. Not perfect, but at least it's stronger. Next up, I found a safety hasp at a local hardware store. Since I didn't have a vise, I had to improvise. I used a file and a clamp and secured it to a picnic table. Using a pair of pliers, I slowly bent the hinge into a shape that would be better suited for the application I had in mind. The hasp was then riveted to the body of the trailer at the midpoint below where the window closes. The staple was secured to the lid. With the hasp in the staple, a carabiner will secure the lid in place.
There we go. So it doesn't matter whatever happens to the sides, it's always secure in the middle.
Now, despite my attempt to dodge winter, it crept up on me again.
Well, it's trail time, but it is cold. It's only about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Last night it was actually just below freezing, and it's windy, so got to keep my ears warm.
Carolina Beach State Park has several walking trails, but I picked the Sugarloaf Trail to start off. Although the undergrowth could be quite thick, the trails themselves were well groomed with white sand. My attention was drawn to the thick canopy above. The longleaf pine is a species native to the southeastern U.S. With my eyes cast skyward, I spotted a couple of vultures circling. Were they waiting for me? I'm not ready to drop just yet, thank you.
As colorful as it is now, it must be phenomenal in the summertime. Definitely a spot I'm going to have to spend more time at. Sometime in the future.
And as I made my way back to camp, I followed that age-old camping tradition. Keep only memories and leave only footprints.
Well, after a good hike, I get hungry, so it's chow time. Now, typically on the road, most of the stuff that I create is pretty boring, pretty standard. Like tonight would be spaghetti night. And when I say spaghetti, it's just boiled spaghetti and a can of sauce, and I just pour the sauce on there, and that's it. However, a couple of months ago, I asked my viewers if they had any road food recipes, and I had a ton of responses. So I looked through them, and tonight I found one from Dave B. It's called Spaghetti with Black Bean Sauce. That sounds perfect. He's going to jazz up my spaghetti. Black beans. The nice thing about this recipe is, I just need a can of black beans, which are available in most little grocery stores. I don't have to go into town. And the other thing is just diced tomatoes. No other things that I need that I don't already have. So let me go over the recipe with you. It says, cook pasta in very salty water. I think I can do that. Drain, keep warm. Got it? In saucepan, add 1 can black beans, and then 1 can or less diced tomatoes. Gotcha. Italian seasoning. Well, unfortunately, I don't have Italian seasoning right now, so I do have chili powder. Hopefully that's close enough. And garlic powder. Got that too. Cook down. I think cook down means simmer, right? Because that's what I did. Mash mixture with potato masher or fork. I think I'll go with the fork on that one. Add 2nd can of black beans. Well, you think? I don't know. I think I'm okay with 1. Well, I'm just going to try it. Baby steps here. Just 1 can of black beans for tonight. Stir and salt and pepper liberally, whatever. Serve over pasta. Enjoy with a cold beer. Okay, serve over pasta. Here's the pasta. And here's the bean sauce. Now, I think it's a little runny. Maybe he meant I should have drained the beans. I didn't. It says like put a can in. I put everything in the can. But I think this should work. Actually, it's not too runny. Actually, it does actually look like spaghetti sauce, just a lot more colorful than what I do. Okay. Actually, I thought it was too much, but with this huge pile of spaghetti, it's probably fine. But I'm just going to leave that for now. And as he said, salt and pepper liberally. And here's some liberal sea salt and pepper together. What a great idea. On it goes. That's very liberal to me. Okay, now the taste test. I always do the twirly thing. Okay, I got to get a lot of sauce on there. Okay, I know. Watching somebody eat spaghetti is kind of gross, so I'm going to make sure I twirl it around there. Okay, have we got it? We got it. 1, 2, 3. I put a little bit too much chili powder in there, but actually it's good. I need to warm myself up. This is not bad at all. Thank you, Dave B. It's spaghetti with black bean sauce, and it is delicious. Now, there's only one problem with all this, and that is he put enjoy with cold beer. Unfortunately, I'm in a state park that says you cannot have alcohol. So, Next time, I'll take a rain check. I'll have the beer later when I'm out of the state park. Right now, it's just water. Cheers, Dave.
So the verdict? Dave's recipe, 2 thumbs up. And Carolina Beach State Park, definitely worth trying out.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out my others as well.